definitely.
These and all right, cool. So to sync, I'm gonna count to 3, and then we'll clap on 3. So 1, 2, 3, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I've done this enough times that I have to tell people what on 3 means. All right.
Yeah. Right. Now it's all good.
All right. So 1, 2, 3. Sweet. And then same on your end. So you count to 3 and on. Yeah.
All right. 1, 2, 3. All right. Cool.
Sweet.
All right. Let's get it.
Yeah. Also, in the intro, I'm going to go across from me is, and then you're going to say your name. Sometimes
okay, cool.
I forget to tell people that. And so it's like, I have to say, no, say your name.
All right.
So,
all right. No, it's all good. Yeah. It's all good. Right.
Mm-hmm. Hello. And again, welcome to Bit Depth. I'm Santiago Ramones. Across from me is.
Hi, you already know when the ha go. It's Reem'o Meerak Tyson. Definitely glad to be here. What's good, man?
It's great. All things considered, you know.
Right.
So first things first, obviously, who are you and what do you do?
Pretty much television producer, content creator, media personality. Hobby on the side is gaming, but I've played in a couple of gaming tournaments. Did some acting and stuff. I'm actually planning to return to it once everything opens up.
Yeah.
To return back to acting, and just a creative that likes to inspire the youth.
Sweet. All right. Well, which of these things did you start on? And then which of these things do you feel is your main passion in all of this?
Ooh, that's a dope.
I know that's a tough one.
It's a definitely dope question, man. I started out, well, yeah, I'm showing my age too. So 14 years ago in 2006, I started in acting and modeling. So it was like the acting was background acting, you know, extras. Sometimes I had one-liners and stuff like that. I was in probably major projects, you know, like Law and Order SVU. I was in Nurse Jackie. The dance, like, which is kind of, I think the biggest of the ones I did was the choreography scene in Friends with Benefits, that movie with Justin Timberlake and Mila Kunis.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I've been to other various shows, used in like independent artists, music videos, models here and there and stuff like that. But then, you know, things in my career wasn't going how I wanted it to go. You know what I'm saying? They were in, it was like a goal I really was reaching and it wasn't getting there. So then I was like thinking, like, this is like around like 2012. You know, I transitioned to media, you know, and from there for the last 8 years, it's just been a great, amazing ride so far.
Yeah. So let's start with acting then. So what was it about acting? What was it about you that you were really drawn to that?
Oh, well, here's the funny thing, right? So before that, you know, I had hoop dreams, you know what I'm saying? Like to play professionally. Now, as far as professionally, I knew I couldn't make the league, but I knew, all right, you know what? I had enough to make it overseas. So that was my focus and goal at the time. But then, you know, a lot of my friends, they kept telling me, yo, you got too much charisma. Yo, you're funny, you know, and then, you know, ladies would tell me, you know, you should be in modeling, you should model, you know, so I didn't care for that. Like I was a guy, you know what I'm saying? I didn't care about that kind of crap. You know what I'm saying? Not saying it's crap, but I'm just saying, I'm just giving you the mentality at that moment. So at a house party in Harlem around 2006, right? This is randomly, you know, I'm talking with this young man, you know what I'm saying? Probably around the time, he probably was like a little bit younger. So he kind of looked like Lupe Fiasco. So, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So we're chopping it up and he's telling me about an agency. He's like, yo, I went to this agency, you know, downtown. And yo, I've been acting. They've been leading me to mad acting roles and all this other stuff. So I'm looking and I'm like, what agency is this? So the agency was Central Casting, which is a real, it was one of the most like known agencies for talent. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna lie, man. I was like, all right, he told me the address where it was at. It was in, downtown Manhattan, well, rather Midtown, you know what I'm saying? Told me about it, I was like, all right, went there, waited, paid I think at the time the fee was like $30 or 35, like 20, it was like 35, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't, I was like, whatever, I wasted $30 on other dumb shit. Like, what's the worst that could happen? Right.
Yeah.
So I did it. They took my photo. It was like a regular photo of me. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna lie. About like probably like a month, maybe, I started. My first joint was in Law and Order SVU, which is crazy.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? I was just hyped off this shit. I was like, yo, I can't believe I'm really like gonna fit in a scene in Law and Order or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I honestly, I didn't even care the fact that I didn't get no lines. I was just like, oh shit, I'm really like here. Mm-hmm. But with that, I'm not gonna lie, I learned like tremendously a lot. Like, how they split the set, like for union actors versus non-union actors, and just picked up on a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? And then whatever opportunity I had to like either speak to main talent, I would speak to them. But it wasn't like, on some fan shit. It was like on some like, all right, I'm trying to get some game from you type shit. And it was even from the ones that were in SAG. You know what I'm saying? That the union actors, you know what I'm saying? I would talk to them tremendously, so it helped me out a lot within my career. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What's kind of one of the biggest things that you learned talking to actors and being involved in the set and stuff like that? What'd you
honestly
get?
One thing for sure was maintain your consistency. You know what I'm saying? That was one thing they always was coming to tell me. You know what I'm saying? It was always like, yo, truly maintain your consistency, understand the business before you even get involved in it. You know what I'm saying? The fame is the fame, but it's always going to come regardless. You know what I'm saying? They were just basically telling me things to focus on before I cared about, the main thing that mattered, like, which anybody would, you know what I'm saying, is the fame. Like, you care about the fame before the business. So, that definitely helped me out tremendously within my career.
Yeah. How did you transition kind of out of acting into media and video?
Media?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Let me tell you, man. Oh, man. That, so before I forgot to mention, I was actually going through it a lot as far as like mentally, and I was depressed. I felt I let people down. I was appeasing a lot during those times, and I'm not gonna lie, there was a couple of suicidal attempts, during that transition, during that time. And I'm not gonna lie, man, like I just said, yo, after I dealt with the suicidal attempts and everything, you know what I mean? Then I was like, you know what? The better way to get it out, as far as like talking and like guiding. And then also too, around that time, wasn't really feeling what media was doing. You know what I'm saying? Around that time, I was eternalizing a lot with media and, certain shit. And even with hip hop media, there was certain things I was just like, yo, it's too goofy to me. It's just too, it's non-realistic. You know what I'm saying? So, that's when I got involved with media. And the first place I went to was a place in the Bronx called the Matrix Studios. You know what I'm saying? I was a co-host on my homegirls show. They had a show there. I was a co-host. I was a guest co-host, and then I was guest co-host at another. And then finally, I decided to have my own. 3 years later, in 2015, I had my own TV show. It was called Reem TV Radio. It was a rendition off of a TV show I already had called Reem TV. So it was dope. I had a crazy ill run. I'm not gonna lie. For like a year, I had an ill run. Like, people were really starting to notice it. And even within that year, that's when I created with the name Reem'o Meerak. And the reason why with that was because originally when I first came into the media game, I was going by Reem'o the Social Dweeb, which was kind of long and ridiculous and crazy. Yeah, it was just like one of those like fluffy, like, all right, whatever, gimmicky names.
Radio name.
Yeah, right. It was like one of those gimmicky names. Just all right, whatever. Let's just until then, right? So bust it. So there was a press day. So the press days at DSN is like, we get big names or big figures and come, and everybody of the shows interviews them and stuff like that. So there was a producer named Reem'o the Hitmaker, right? So we're both on the same panel of this. Like, there's a mini documentary that I did, and I show my disgust in it, not disgust in him, but just the fact, like, damn, they're saying Reem'o the Hitmaker, I'm saying Reem'o the Social Dweeb, and I just felt real uncomfortable. So literally after that, like, mind you, the event ended like around like 12, 1 o'clock, right? But bust it. Now I'm up like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning trying to figure out, all right, what's my new name? What's it going to be? And mind you, I have to go to work. The daytime, I'm an educator. I'm a New York City educator. So it's like, I'm up writing in like, what's it going to be? What's it going to be? And then I ain't gonna lie, man, I kept saying my name backwards, because, all right, so for Reem'o Meerak, the Meerak is my real name spelled backwards. So it's Kareem spelled backwards. So, yeah, right. So, I just kept saying it like Meerak, 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 Meerak. I was like, oh shit. Then I thought about miraculous. So you know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, yeah, no, I'm gonna stick with Reem'o Meerak. And I go front, I was messing up my own name saying it. And so, like 2016 is when I just started really pushing out there, Reem'o Meerak, Reem'o Meerak, Reem'o Meerak. Just pushing it. And then, there was a transition, there was another transitional period. I had like from 2015, 2016, I had a real ill hot streak. You know what I'm saying? As far as an independent game, cats was knowing who I was because I was everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I literally forced myself to be everywhere. I went against my body. I went against my health. You know what I'm saying? To be everywhere, just so damn, this dude Reem'o Meerak is here. Damn, this nigga's everywhere. Where the hell is he? How? So I took even a bigger risk. And in 2016, I had left DSN. I mean, there was other reasons why I left, but I felt more so I had to focus on my brand tremendously. So literally, and around that time, I did have a manager at that time as well. You know what I'm saying? So we was focusing more about the networking and building connections versus creating content and all that. I just worried about connect. So I took like a 4-month hiatus. I left in June 2016. And then I came back in media in around October 2016. You know what I'm saying? I was with a show. I was with a show called Rich Off Life TV. You know what I'm saying? Podcast, radio show, Rich Off Life TV. I was the co-host on that, and then I got my biggest Christmas gift ever in my life. That my show was accepted to be on cable TV. You know what I'm saying? So, work out of Manhattan Neighborhood Network, which is a public access network, but still was able to be on Spectrum Cable. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, that was just a dope experience. You know what I'm saying? Being at a studio, regardless of not a big studio, but it still was a studio, you know what I'm saying? Operating, creating your content, getting it on time for it to be aired and stuff like that. It was pretty dope, and I learned a lot from that, you know what I'm saying? And which helped me even grow even more, as a videographer and a field operator, which I'm certified in, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I just so far, man, with this career, man, it's just things have been on a steady up and on a slow, steady up and up. But as far as business wise and everything, handling myself, I can never, 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 forget about what I went through.
Yeah. Um, the transition from acting into media, how is it different from, like, you show up on set, you know your lines, you know where you're supposed to be,
Right.
versus being in media, you have to think on your feet, you have to,
Oh
what
man.
are the things that I don't know, kind of jumping into the deep end, and
I
you
think
really learn.
I think more so, man. Oh my God. I think it's just the research. Like, rehearsing your lines is one thing. You know what I'm saying? And even for your character, as the actor, you always find within, what to express out of the character. You know what I'm saying? Or you study the role of the person. Like, let's say if it is like somebody you're reenacting in a biopic or something like that, one really studies that. But the same goes in retrospect to media. Like,
Mm,
you're studying, okay, the subject, you're studying the story, you're studying the information, before you display it out to the world, because that is key. You
mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? And that is key. So for me with media, it wasn't a difficult transition, but it was just like one where I kept building on. And then also too, being the one behind the camera and
Yeah.
and shooting the media. That's another aspect. You know what I'm saying? You have to learn. And thank God at Manhattan Neighborhood Network, I took the courses to learn the basics and then build off that basic. You know what I'm saying? That's what's
Yeah.
key too. I'm not gonna lie, man. It's not. I know people. You want to get at media. Yeah, there's certain medias that do some dumb shit or whatever, but it is a skill set that you really have to really craft, and you really have to put in the work to master.
Yeah, yeah. What made you interested in being on the other side of the camera?
Oh, it was I'll keep it a buck. Like I said, it was built from me taking the courses at Manhattan Neighborhood Network. You know what I'm saying? Just learning about that. And plus too, like I said, in my early days with acting, what I'm saying, on set, I used to like go off from the holding area and just like look at them, the way they set scenes up,
Mm-hmm.
and the lighting, like how they put the lighting up and the boom mic. And, it's just certain things, why they had us do 90-degree walks in scenes. And, it was certain things, and that always intrigued me. And then also, too, it's more so of the control factor, you know what I'm saying? Like, just controlling, like, how you create things. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? It's a thrilling thing being behind the camera and directing and filmmaking and making your content, editing too. You know what I'm saying? I have a weird like love for editing, which is weird. I know a lot of people hate editing, but I don't know. I got a weird love for it. So
Yeah. No, there's a lot you can say with an edit, and you can really change what's being said with an
right,
edit. So, I mean,
right.
um, so then once you kind of go into your own brand, how do you separate that from what you were doing before? Kind of what makes you you in this sphere, especially whenever it's so hard, and especially in New York whenever it's like, you know, uh, people talk about big fish, little pond. That's not a pond, you know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's an ocean. No, ooh, man, you come with some great questions. Wow, I wasn't prepared. No, I mean, it's all good. No, it's all good. Hey, I'm not that one to be like, no, oh my God, I'm flustered. No, how can the best way I can answer that? I'll say this. I always stuck with my motto ever since, I was going through the troubling times with the suicidal attempts and everything, that perseverance is real. Definitely, through everything I went through, I always persevered.
Yeah.
And with this in this industry, you have to persevere through the many things. There's going to be a whole lot of no's. There's going to be fake yeses. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be real yeses. What else? There's going to be times that you're going to fight your sleep. You're going to fight your health. To a degree, you're going to fight your mindset. You gotta really like hone in on these things and really like, do what you have to do with your craft and make your craft better. And, and always focus on the business, you know what I'm saying, of whatever craft you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What else? Oh man. Oof. Cause oh man, it's such a good question, man. You're gonna be diving. Also too, you wanna always maintain the love for this. You know what I'm saying? That's the key thing. Truly maintain the love for this, man. Because if you don't maintain this love, you're gonna find yourself like real flustered. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna focus on the things that really don't matter. Like, oh my God, is it getting numbers? Is it getting views? Is it getting likes? Versus, really focusing on making your craft or your product grow, your brand grow.
Yeah.
So that's the best way I could definitely answer that.
Right. Yeah. And I think people can tell too whenever you're no longer passionate about
Oh yeah.
what you're doing.
Oh yeah.
So then what is well, first I guess into the many things of your brand. Cuts. What's
Reem'o Cuts? Oh,
yeah.
Oh yeah. So that's my latest vlog column type of platform. So I have a column in Floss magazine called Reem'o Cuts. So the cut stands for culture, urban, technology, and sports. So basically, I'm speaking with figures under that acronym, and we talk about their real story, talk about their narrative, and then also too, they I have a fan base that I just started calling my creatives. You know what I'm saying? So they speak to my creatives and give them great, inspiring, words of wisdom, and inspire them about what to look for when coming into this industry and with their creativity.
Yeah. Why why those things? Why culture, urban, sports, technology?
Well, so pretty much what it is I've more so honed in to focus on the things that evolved around my brand, you know what I'm saying, that I've truly been around with, you know what I'm saying? I mean, urban, I know it has like a weird quasi like contradictive tone, but the thing is, there's a lot of things that's urban, you know what I'm saying? It's not just, okay, in the hood or just city. There's a lot of things that's urban or that's come out of urban, you know what I'm saying? That's been great. So it's me more so highlighting the greatness of it versus the undertoning, negativity word of it,
Right.
So, and also too with the sports, like I said, I'm a sports fan. You see, look, I'm wearing a sports fans hat now, you know what I'm saying? And I'm into sports. And then, there's also the stories of sports, you know what I'm saying? There's many things to interview off of sports, and that technology with me being, as you see right here, with the whole gaming, in the geek life, you know what I'm saying? I hate saying geek life. So like the dweeb life and stuff like that. I talk the figures of that as well. And then culture wise, it's not only just hip hop culture. I aim at, it's pop culture. It's, the culture of the world. You know what I'm saying? That's what I aim to do. Like the other night, actually, I just spoke to somebody from UK. I spoke to a UK artist. You know what I'm saying? So it's different, like variables into that, and I'm gonna continue growing. It's a new YouTube channel, as well. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just gonna continue growing it.
Yeah, for real.
Yes.
And then the podcast.
The Reem'o Meerak. Oh, let me tell you. The Reem'o Meerak. Right. It's with me and my homie Midwest Yosh. There was a third person her name was Chloe, but she had to handle personal things. I'm not gonna express that too much. But yeah, man, definitely. We had unfortunately took a hiatus due to what happened with the whole COVID thing. The studio that we were operating out of, it had shut down.
Damn.
So it took me a while to like, all right, what are we going to do? You know, I got the computer, and then from there, you know, this podcast mic, I got him one as well. And then we've been, ever since we've been back, May, I want to say May 20th. We've been back. So, you know, episode 11 dropped early this week. I think early this week or the weekend. I forgot. But it's out. Both episodes out. We're about to do episode 12. We're doing that this week coming up. You know, episode 12. I'm loving it. You know, Yoshi brings the pain. You know, with the sports. You know, that's his niche. He loves sports, but he's also inquisitive, and in speaking. You know what I'm saying? And Chloe is too. Chloe was like our business and business tech and health expert on the show. But she was bringing the pain as well. And me, I was just pretty much the problematic, antagonizing one. I'm not gonna lie. I was the one that was just opening cans of whoop ass and, you know, and just letting the Ruger spray and just going all out. You know, just wilding out. But we're definitely, you know, that type of show that type of platform, excuse me, you know what I'm saying, podcast that you know, we shoot the shits, you know, we speak on the real. Sometimes it's comical, sometimes it's not, you know what I'm saying? I guess, you know, we're kind of like that what do I want to say? That good feel, get away from the fuck shit podcast. So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just, you know, that's what it is with us. You know what I'm saying? And then also too, I have another podcast as well. It's called Perseverance is Real. You know, it's off my motto. It's more of a self-motivating narrative type of podcast. So it's like I kind of take, you know, my listeners and my fan base and new fan bases as well to a better understanding of who I am and what I've been throughout my entertainment career. So, you know, hopefully whoever listens to it, you know, you take in, you know, what was happening. You know what I'm saying? You take in, or you take bits and pieces like, okay, I see what he did to handle it. Maybe I can handle it this way in my path. You know, that's just basically what it is. So it's more like I said, self-improving, inspiring narrative type of podcast. Yeah. You know, it came out this week. No, it came out last week. It came out June 1st. So it was already out June 1st. And you know, it's on right now. It's on Spotify and Anchor right now. And then the Reem'o Meerak is on all major platforms, which is crazy. Anchor, Spotify, Apple, Radio Public. Is it Radio Public, Stitcher, Breaker. I forgot. There's another one. I just got the email on that. It's on another one too. Right. It's a blessing and a half, man. I definitely love this podcast life, man. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
What's something about you that people don't normally know about you? And it's kind of, I know that's kind of a hard question for someone who's been kind of a public person for so long. So what's kind of something that,
all right. Well, the Funko Pops, I mean, even though I've been publicly saying it, but people don't know that is actually one of my growing hobbies, believe it or not. What else? The opera music, classical music. Do people don't know that about me? I mean, people personally do, but as far as public eye, they don't know that about me.
Wait, like what about opera music? Like, you like listen to it, you sing it?
Yeah, as far as like listening to it, my fault about that. Yeah, you definitely 1,000% correct. That was very broad. No, listening to it, you know what I'm saying? There's times in my editing I listen to it. Yeah. When I edit. Yeah, it's certain things that I'll listen to while editing and stuff like that. What else? Oh, I'm a big, huge Shelby 1967 Mustang fan. You know what I'm saying? Like I just got, even though from Gone to 60 Seconds, but I just it's still like a fascination for it. That's pretty much it to a degree. I mean, there's nothing, because there's nothing really I hide. I'm very transparent. So you know, nothing really too much I hide.
And then kind of through your story and everything and kind of where you're at now, what advice do you have for other entertainers or media personalities that are starting out trying to get somewhere?
Oh man, first and foremost, understand the business. That's very first. Understand the business. Tremendously understand the business. Second, definitely make sure you love to do this and want to do this. Don't feel like you need to be in this industry. You don't need to be here. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm just saying that you don't need to be here. If there's a need for you to be here, then you're just adding on to the problem that many are complaining about when it comes to the industry and the culture and everything like that. Like, you don't need to be here. Make sure you want to do this, and make sure you separate your needs and your wants. You know what I'm saying? And third, honestly, consistency. Make sure what you do is consistent. Definitely. If you're one that you posting 10 episodes a week, keep it 10 episodes a week.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm just putting that number out there. I mean,
right.
Mathematically, you can't really put 10 episodes. If you do, then you're a beast. But, 10 episodes a week or whatever, what I'm saying? If you do that, make sure you keep it consistency. You know what I'm saying? That's just key. That I'll keep it a buck. And I always say this in my interviews. I mean, despite what I do, and I'm not going to lie, my numbers are low, but consistently, networking and consistently building the bonds and relationships keeps me afloat out there with people. You know what I'm saying? And then also, too, the way I conduct my business when I have people on my platforms or when I film for them. You know what I'm saying? It's just of that. You know what I'm saying? Being that I've been around that orient and been around that environment, with the acting, you know what I'm saying? I just take those same things that I've seen and it was embraced by and incorporated into my brand and what I do.
Definitely.
Yes.
So since there's no good transition into this part of the interview,
okay.
So let's just jump into it.
Jump into it.
What is the role of spirituality or religion in your life?
Ooh, you went there. I'm going to say this. I'm not going to lie. I'm still a rebellious soul with that because of what I went through in my past life, as far as like as a youngin, being told, oh, if you don't go to church, like a youngin, like around teenage years, so I used to get scolded for that. Like, oh, if you're not going to church, oh, you're going to end up like, and I just never believed in it. So I'm not going to lie. I'm not heavily a religious person. I mean, there's certain scriptures that I take, especially one with Proverbs 12. And if I'm not mistaken, it's I think it's he who doesn't take the information is considered die stupid. I believe that's what it is. I may be right. I may be wrong on that. Whoever is listening of your fan base, you have every right to correct me if so. But I know of that scripture. That's kind of the main idea of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really too religious, but as far as spirituality, I'm a heavy, firm believer of karma. I'm a heavy, firm believer of what you put into the universe, of the good that you put in. Majority of that comes out, and whatever bad you put in, the majority of that comes out as well. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that people that have done bad, things haven't happened to them, but still, all in all, evidently or eventually, you know what I'm saying, it gets to that point. So, I'm not one to like get at somebody if you're a Christian and I'm Catholic, you know what I'm saying, I'm not getting at you for that. I don't have time for that. That to me is a waste of energy, and also it adds on to too much confusion. And I feel within society for years, eons, that's been one of the main components of confusion is with religion. You know what I'm saying? Spirituality. It's within what you feel. You know what I'm saying? If it's within what you feel. So that I'll never be in question of. But when it comes to religion, I am heavily, because like I said, we could go with the argument of if it's man-made and all that stuff, it's divine and all that. But at the end of the day, it's always been one of the main components in society that confuses people tremendously.
No, and I feel that. I mean, I'm not religious at all, and so it's like I like asking the question just because it always gets into kind of how you grew up with it too. So,
Right.
so kind of with that, or I guess on top of that, what is your definition of God?
Oh, damn, you went there. Wow. Ooh.
We go deep here.
Yeah, no, that's what's up. No, and that's the name of the show, Bit Death. Hey, that's the name of the show. Hey, listen, if that wasn't the case, then I wouldn't reply back. That's to the show. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, that went deep. All right, I'm gonna try to answer that as best as I can because unfortunately, the society that we're in now, the era that we're in now, I don't want them to research, 5 years later, 10 years later. Oh, you said God was this. And I'm like, no, that's not what I said of God. No, that's not what I meant. But whatever. I'm not gonna apologize for it. But here's where I'm gonna go with it. I feel it's a being or it's a individual to whom you believe will guide you to a better life. I don't know if that kind of makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It depends. I mean, you know what I'm saying? There's many sectors of people that have different types of gods.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? It's just unfortunate in society we go against each other and go, oh no, your God is not the God of my God, and it's just weird to me. That's why I never really dive into religion like that because there's so many religions that have their version of a God and they feel it oversees that other version of God, which is like kind of weird to me. You know what I'm saying? In a sense.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, that's my best answer to it. I mean, I don't know who's listening in. I don't want you to be like, oh my God, well, he's the Antichrist. He doesn't care about God. No, that's not what it is.
No. I mean, I don't believe in God, so there's nothing that you can say or do to offend me. So you're all good.
Oh yeah, hey man, no, I'm just saying, hey, because listen, like I said, man, it's the temperature of the society we're in. You know what I'm saying? Like I hate to say it, but it just feels like a butthurt sensitive society. I just can't. Maybe I'm showing my age, but it's like I just don't. It's just certain shit. It's just like, all right, certain shit doesn't need to be questioned all the time. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? Like, even with the entertainers that were getting questioned about what they wrote 10 years ago. I mean, if you would have to be like, I don't know, you would have to be like a hermit under many rocks to not understand that somebody's going to evolve from what they last said. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you played with Play-Doh at 5 years old. You're not really going to play with Play-Doh now as an adult. I mean, unless it's a hobby, then cool, but it's not detrimental to that person's growth.
Yeah.
So
I was 10 years stupider 10 years ago, man.
No, right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, same here. No, you know what I'm saying? Shit. I mean, who, like, even me, like, I would never think I would be an educator in education. Not to say I was a badass in school, but as far as like sarcastic and class clownish, but still did my work. Like, a lot of my friends, they're like, shit, I didn't think you'd be fucking education. But, even though, based on my mom, being an educator, being a professor and stuff like that, and then, family and law enforcement. So it was really kind of like a wavering, like, all right, it might be either or, you know what I'm saying? But,
Right.
I never really thought I'd be in education.
Sure. And kind of with that thought, like of, you kind of have to guide people in education. So, a question I do normally ask is, how do you determine what good behavior is?
Oh man, you coming with it today. Damn. I'll say this, man. You determine good behavior for me. The behavior that I determine good behavior is based on their ability to bounce back out of challenges. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, we all could like be perfect and, stand straight and not do anything. But then again, let's say if something challenging happens to you, you know what I'm saying? How do you bounce back from it? How do you not do something bad back? Or how do you, what's the word I want to use? Oh my God. Why is my brain slipping this morning? That's not good. How do you like steer away from it? You know what I'm saying? That's all I judge, even with my students. You know what I mean? That's why I teach my students a lot. Like I tell them, teach them things about, there's going to be certain things in society that's going to happen with you. This is how you got to get away from it. This is how you stare away from it. This is how you challenge it head on. There's certain things of that. So that for me, that's how I challenge it. Because like I said, you could be perfect all you want, but then, you slip up and do something bad. How do you bounce back from it? That's the best way I do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then given the way that the world is right now, how do we reduce the division that is?
Oh man, we are gonna get deep with that. So
let's go for it.
As of late, I've been really preaching to my people. I don't mean to separate at this moment in time, but I've been preaching to my people about, we have to be more critical thinkers versus emotionally with our hearts. Right now, things with our heart and emotion are tremendously at stake and being triggered and tested at an all-time high. And I'll say for me, one thing that helped me separate the mind from the heart, definitely is the Willie Lynch letter. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the reason why I'm mentioning of that is because 15 years ago, as I took Caribbean history, that was one of the lessons, was to break that letter down. Break it down as far as what you understand of it, the history of it. Why did he do it? Why did he use it in the Caribbean?
So what is that for?
No, so pretty much the Willie Lynch.
I don't know.
I know, right? So the Willie Lynch letter, basically, Willie Lynch was a slave master and what's the word? Explorer from the European. You know what I'm saying? And he came to the Caribbean. He was one of the few, but even before Columbus, if I'm not mistaken, that came to the Caribbean and really changed the culture and with the slavery in the Caribbean. You know what I'm saying? So there was a letter that he put out before he came to the U.S. Before he came to the U.S., a letter he wrote. He wrote to somebody in Virginia, a slave master in Virginia, and basically it was a letter stating ways of control of the slaves, and especially the black slaves. You know what I'm saying? It was ways of how to separate them by age, sex, color, religion. I forgot the other. There's three more, but basically what it was he told them how to make them distrust one another, as well as erase their adulation for one another and respect for one another. You know what I'm saying? And it was it hit me. Like, even though my mother had it in the house, but I didn't internalize it until I took the class. You know what I mean? Yeah. In the course. And ever since then, like in the last 15 years, that's what I've been like focusing on. You know what I'm saying? And even now, you could see it now with the way, media likes to sway things. And then, even though we are part of media as far as podcasters, but it's a difference with the mainstream. Like, the mainstream media swaying things tremendously crazy. And I want people to understand, I'm not saying that racism is not real. I'm not saying that police brutality is not real. I'm not stating that whatsoever, or the injustices. What I'm stating is what is displayed for us to separate us even more. Just as I stated before, when you asked me about the religion question, that's another just as the other components of separation with confusion. It's of that component,
Yeah. No, and we can really see how the effects of even something like that, of like, here's the structure of control, and we're seeing it every day, man. And so kind of with that, how do you live with, or even against, the selfishness that is kind of so pervasive in American culture today?
I'll say this, you have to work on yourself to understand what's around your environment. You know what I'm saying? I feel a good amount of people in society have a weird, like, entitlement way. Like, it's like, all right, if you pay taxes, then thus should happen regardless, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, that's not really what it is. You know, I mean, we all pay taxes, but then there's no real change after what you paid. So what do you do next after that? You get what I'm saying? How do you follow up? I feel like, I feel like a lot of people just get caught up in that. Like, okay, like especially now in this era, you know what I'm saying? Because the way the apps and technology has made it, okay, swipe, and it happens. It's like, no, that's not really what it is. You still have to follow up. You know what I'm saying? Just because you pay your taxes here doesn't mean that a change should happen off of what you pay your taxes. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? If there's no follow up of it after what you do, then how can one expect change?
Right.
Period.
Yeah. Do you believe that humans are evil by nature?
Yes and no. I believe it's especially with racism. Racism is a taught behavior. Period. You know what I'm saying? There's no you're born a certain way, hating a certain creed, and I don't care what the DNA of your parents are. You know what I'm saying? You're not hating, things. If that's the case, then you would hate if your mom hated Skittles. You know what I'm saying? Or your mom hated, if your mom hated Skittles and your dad hated Starburst, does that mean that you're gonna, when you're born and you're created, you're gonna hate candy? No, it's taught. It's a taught baby. And also too, with this whole thing with society wanting like racism to be legally as a mental disease. Like for me, I'm gonna keep it a buck. And people may hate what I'm about to say. That is going to add in more confusion than fucking ever. Okay. And also too, and I hate to go conspiracy theory on it, that's gonna leave more room for underlying bullshit that's not needed to go under that disease. If you get where I'm coming from with that. So it's like, no, I think it needs to be understood, or we should want to understand that it's a learned behavior. I don't care what the scientists say. Oh, so scientifically you can naturally be born. That's dumb. That's like, to be honest, think about that. That's like the dumbest ideology. Off the rip. That's the dumbest ideology. That's the most ignorant ideology to really think that you can be born a racist. Now, you could be taught that, or the environment around you absorbs that. But that's not a natural thing. That's just straight up you're being taught. Somebody's enforcing that into you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially from youth. You know what I'm saying? If you're from youth told, oh, don't like black people, hate black people. Or I'm taught, if my parents taught me, all right, don't like white people at all. Hate them. Hate them. Hate them. Hate them. And it's constantly, or any of race, outside any race, it's taught. It's taught. It's a taught thing. Now, if you want to have a crime or put a law against teaching them, but then again, going back to that, it's going to add on to more confusion. How would you gauge that? You know what I'm saying? How would you gauge that enough to say to make that a law, or even for that matter, to make it a legalized disease? Which like I said, if you make it a legalized disease, that's going to bring in tremendous room of more fuck shit, as far as like fuck shit medicines, and like what medicine is going to curb somebody's mental thought of racism? Like, how does that work? Are you going to stabilize the brain? Like, off their thought, you know what I'm saying? Or is it going to curb them? You know what I mean? It's going to curb them from saying, nah, you know what I'm saying? And that's the thing in this society right now. We have to end this wanting of room for confusion. Like, we have to stop it,
Yeah.
Stop it at all costs, nip it in the bud, anything possible. You just got to stop it.
Yeah. So then, of course, I always kind of go into the deep, like, negativity, but then here's some deeper positivity. What makes you optimistic about our future?
What makes me optimistic is the youth. The youth are speaking at a whole different frequency. I feel my people of, I think we're Generation X. I believe we're Generation X. I think 1980s, 80s and after, I believe is Generation X and Millennials, by the way. Or I believe Millennials is 1981 or 1982. I'm not too sure, but we are of the same genre or origin of people of that generation. We have to be the ones to guide after us of the new energy. You get what I'm saying? And I feel once we collectively do it, and as well as consistently do it, see, things can change. You know, and also too, you have to be optimistic always. You know, if you keep living in fear, keep living in doubt, then thus you're just gonna have this. You're gonna have horse goggles. You know, but if you're optimistic and you don't have the horse goggles, then you know you expand your mind, you research more, you're intuitive, your vision is better, your peripheral is better. You know what I'm saying? And then from here, it's the thinking, and that too. We just got to do more thinking. You know, I know it's been like promoted heart and care and empathy. I understand all that, but critical thinking is very key, man. Yeah, and it saves you out of a lot of shit. Believe it or not, it does. No, seriously, it really does.
Yeah. And then kind of going further from that, just what makes you content?
Well, I'll say this. It is for me content, because content is a broad word. So you know what I'm saying? There's different varies of what a person can be content of. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's really based on like the facts. You know what I'm saying? Of what I research are the facts to be content of a situation, or me studying pattern, because that's what I've done as of late. Even being in media, you pick up that sense of like studying patterns and studying like flows of situations, and not always going off the one story. It's two sides or multiple sides of the story. You know what I'm saying? Before you can make your conclusion. So that's how it is for me off the rip, as far as like content. Like I really don't try to be of the assuming assumptions. You know what I'm saying? I really try to limit that, you know, wholeheartedly, because that blocks your vision. And also, and emotionally too. Like I try not to be as emotional in things that I have to see in front of me. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that I don't have empathy or I don't have care, but I don't allow that to oversee this. You know what I'm saying? You have to be one to separate the two. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. When will you be satisfied?
That's a good question. Yo, you are wow, man. You are like, wow. Bit Dep is really of the name of its brand. Shit. Woo. Cause see, satisfied. See, that's another broad word. And I've been preaching that as of late. You know, with this whole everything that's going on, like, you know, broad words don't have a definitive value. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a broad word, and then also too, it varies amongst individuals. You know what I'm saying? So, I think for me, you know, I ain't gonna lie, having a child is one. You know, shockingly, I don't have one, but having a child is one. Two, you know, that I inspired as much as I could. You know what I'm saying? Three, I mean, a society base, just consistently just would want society to just be more understanding, you know. Four, wealthy enough for overall happiness, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Five, probably, you know, finally travel all the places in the world that I wanted to.
Yeah.
That's that's different than traveling the whole world. I mean, you could if you want to, if you found that time to, but traveling the places that I wanted to. So far, I'm kind of getting there. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah,
you know, hopefully when these things everything's lifted. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I can definitely accomplish that feat.
And then just two more questions.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for people in general?
Oh wow. Yeah, no. Hey, listen, man. Perseverance is real. I came up with these two questions now. Shout out to my mom. She helped me out with it during a conversation. So she made a hotline, and I'm making a hot song. It's pretty much, what is your conviction and what is your commitment? I think that helps out. That helped me out tremendously. I added it on with perseverance as well. I was like, yo, I've been pushing it. Also too, just, be in tune with yourself. There's nothing selfish with that. Yeah. I think, it's been propaganded and it's been promoted in society that, if you think of yourself, that's selfish. It's not really. I think a lot of us, we stopped doing that. You know what I'm saying? We've been appeasers. And I've been a victim of it too. I'm not gonna lie, I was appeasing until, it took a real horrible situation to make me not appease, and start working on myself and the self-love, and also too, and just really do your best to bring value for those after you, the generations after you. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you have a family, make sure, besides wealth, financial wealth, just make sure there's some value for them to live off of. So that way they can prosper better in life.
Yeah, definitely. And last question, potentially the most important one, cake or pie?
Wait, say it again.
Cake or pie?
Take or pie?
Cake or pie?
Cake or pie? Ooh. Cake or pie? Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Is that, well, all right. If it's as far as what? As far as of life or home? Because that can be taken many ways. Is that of life?
Well, because sometimes people
a preference, or is a preference of the food choice, or what would you like sliced out of that? There's many ways to go about that.
It's definitely food choice, but like sometimes people go, oh, like if I pick one of these, can I never have the other one? And I think that's probably like taking a little too heavily. But
no, right. But that's what I was asking. I mean,
preference.
If it's food preference,
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I am a cake guy.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a cake guy. I'll just keep it a buck. But that's the reason why I asked, because it had many entendres to it. So that's why I asked. I was like, I don't know. All right. If it's food wise, definitely cake.
Add on to that, what is the best cake in your opinion?
Oh man, you went there, bro. For me, it's carrot cake, but the vanilla, it has to be a certain vanilla icing.
All right.
It has to be like that rich yet smooth, like icing on carrot cake.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It can't be that. It can't be that flimsy whimsy nonsense. I hate that crap. I hate that garbage because it ruins. Because you understand. All right. So when you're eating it, right, it ruins the cake itself. Because once you touch the tip, it's like, oh man. Ugh. And then you got to scrape it. Then you got to scrape it off. And then now you have the cake itself. It's like, come on. What are you doing? What are you doing, bakery? What are you doing?
Someone get this man a good carrot cake.
Yeah, right. Give me a good carrot cake. Right. You want me to be nice? You want me to do nice things? Or next guest appearance thereof, just get me a nice carrot cake and I'm fine. Make sure it's in my dressing room and I'm fine.
All right.
With milk, with some good milk.
Reem'o, thank you so much for doing this with me.
Oh, nah, man. Listen, man, I appreciate you, man. Yo, you amazing platform. I'm not gonna lie. I realized the name Bit Depth. So I was like, all right, I don't know where to go with this, but it was dope overall, man. It's definitely, I had amazing fun here.
Yeah.
Tremendous kudos to you and your endeavors with this. I wholeheartedly have no problem supporting you. You know what I'm saying? And thanks, definitely, man. I really hope in podcast land they really take heed of your contribution. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks, man. Where can we find you and your stuff?
Oh man. So on Instagram and Twitter, you can follow me at Reem'o Meerak. That's Reemo Meerak, Meerak, all in one word, no dots and underscores and all that stuff. And also too, go to my website, Reem'oMeerak.com. That's where you'll see all the Reem'o Cuts content. Also, the podcast, The Reem'o Meerak, is up there, as well as you could, for Perseverance is Real. Actually, going to be dropping chapter 2 of Perseverance is Real this week.
Cool. Yeah.
Definitely check it out on Spotify. The Reem'o Meerak, the podcast, The Reem'o Meerak. Catch it on all streaming channels: Apple, Spotify, Google, Stitcher, Radio Public. Oh my God, so many of them. But if the best way, here's the best way I could say you can do it. Also, if you go to Google, put in The Reem'o Meerak, it'll pop up all the channels, and then from there, boom. Or on my Instagram, click the link in my bio on Reem'o Meerak Instagram, and the Instagram of The Reem'o Meerak as well. You know what I'm saying? Definitely click the link, and boom, it goes right there to the show.
Sweet.
Yeah, man. Yes.
Yeah, so thank you for doing that. I'm Santiago Ramones.
Yes, and you already know when the high go, it's the Ruger sprayer, The Reem'o Meerak.
You can find everything that I do on my website, santiagoramones.com. I make music. I have a new album coming out on August 8th. It is called Bloom. It will be streaming everywhere, but if you pay $10 on Bandcamp, you get some bonus content with it. Bloom, August 8th. There's the stuff that I do with Power Cycle. We have an album out called Too Many Damn Cables. It is experimental electronic music. That album is completely improvised. We did not plan any of it. So that's some of the neat stuff with that. And you can find this podcast anywhere that you listen to great podcasts, and you can leave comments and reviews wherever it is that you want to leave those comments and reviews. I always end the podcast with my 3 things. They shape my life philosophy. Those 3 things are: love never fails. It's going to be okay. I might be wrong.